got as our guest here tonight one of my great friends who I've worked with and known for at least 15, 16 years, and his name is Dave Savula. And Dave Savula is as good an entrepreneur, as good a businessman as I've ever seen. He's in the Hall of Fame of entrepreneurs, and he's been a top money earner for a company called LegalShield. And LegalShield is one of the great entrepreneurial stories of the last 40 years. And he has built a business that's magnificent in there. And Dave, first of all, we're glad to have you on the show. And congratulations for everything you've done and all the people you help. And I know you built a big organization within LegalShield. Tell me, LegalShield is one of the most unique companies I've ever heard of, ever worked with. Tell me what LegalShield does.
Well, first of all, Fran, thank you for having me on the show today. And again, our friendship is very important to me. And of course, as a business owner and being involved in LegalShield now for really about 20 years, it's been a very exciting venture for us, simply because the fact is that what we really do is we really do for lawyers what medical insurance really did for doctors. And this system was actually introduced to me back in 1985. The company today is 40 years of age. And when I was first introduced to this product, I thought, well, there's no such thing as this. There's no access to the legal system today without spending, hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour.
Yeah.
And when it was presented to me, I really kind of shocked the individual who was introducing it to me. I said, no, this doesn't exist. I says, you can able to pick up the phone today and talk to a major law firm and a major attorney without having to put down a retainer and not be billed hundreds of dollars an hour. It just can't exist.
And tell them how much money you had to put down for 1 month of getting access to it.
Well, really, for the price of a cup of coffee a day, for as little as really throughout the country, for as little as $17 a month, and our comprehensive program is $26 a month. And that really covers really an entire family. And what's really interesting, Fran, it covers you nationwide. I mean, it's an opportunity because as we all know, if you have a legal situation in the state you reside in, that's one thing. But if you have sons or daughters going to school in another state, you might know an attorney in the state you live in, but unfortunately, like the movie The Field of Dreams, when you get to the state line and step over, generally, most of these lawyers don't practice in the adjoining states.
Well, I happen to have I own the product, but so I'm gonna tee you up here. Tell me, how can you have unlimited access to lawyers across state lines for $17, $19, $21 a month?
Well, the way
what kind of lawyers do you have?
Well,
David? I know the answer to this question, but tell me, what kind of lawyers do you have?
Well, we got great ones. First of all, as many people know and may not know, there was a book written back in the the 1800s called Martindale-Hubbell, and it's actually the grading scale for lawyers. And our law firms across the country, especially our provider law firms, and even for provinces of Canada today, basically are really some of the top rated firms in throughout the state. So we have a provider law firm system, and with that, our people have access to those lawyers, and for the consultation areas especially, because when you think about, just the ability today to have a question answered, you're an entrepreneurial guy, you've been in business all your life, a small business owner. I certainly would come to you to ask a question about small business, and I'm going to get good advice. Well, unfortunately today, and people, the system scares them. They're intimidated by it. And so, when they're able to pick up the phone and get that question answered, in the times we live in today, probably a great, possibly 90% of most issue could be resolved if people just got good advice. And today, what we're dealing with in this country, and really, foreclosures and job losses and credit issues, people want to know, really, what are my rights? And so, that by itself is really a powerful issue with our provider law firms across U.S. and Canada.
But LegalShield also not only does family plans. You have you could go into companies that have employees, and they could sign up their employees to a discounted group plan.
Yeah, as this company grew, Fran, like any business model, things change. And since we're really, in my personal opinion, one of the founding fathers of this industry, we stand alone in the industry, really. And the critical factor today is that things have changed. If you look at the fast food industry, there was a place with Golden Arches years ago that started off with burgers, but they were smart enough to add chicken, fish, and all kinds of other things because the public demanded it. When you take a look at at our program today, things have changed. The corporate America realizes the importance of a benefit for their employees, especially one that has fixed costs and guaranteed issuance, and that's important because the greatest percentage of time employees are missing from work, they're missing because they're dealing with life event issues, not because they're sick. Half the country gets a divorce, situations happen, problems exist. They want to have access to lawyers, and so that, and of course, the small business model today, which obviously you're so passionate about.
Oh, I think the small business plan that LegalShield has, that I've been a part of for the last 15, 16 years and enjoyed it. This is, think about this. Small business in America, they have no access to legal services. They can't afford $300, $400, $500 an hour legal services, and yet we've been able at LegalShield to offer them unlimited access to lawyers, unlimited access to business consultants, and helping these small business owners get through these times for, again, a very modest sum of money, about the price of a cup of coffee a day.
Well, no question. And the other thing is that, when people go into business, everybody has the expectations and desires and the great dream of succeeding. But unfortunately, the plan is not to be involved in legal issues, and they don't plan for that in many cases. And most small business owners today obviously cannot afford to keep major law firms on retainer. And as you know, with this membership, as you've been a great promoter of, the fact of the matter is simply that they can pick up that phone today, get some good advice, get some, deal with the issues. It could be something as simple as, a letter written on behalf, or, maybe they need a debt collecting letter, written on their behalf. Again, most small businesses will pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that as part of the small business product that we've got. That's all part of our membership.
Yeah, well, most law firms wouldn't even pick up the phone and answer your call. If they want somebody from a big company or big money guy to be able to provide them any service.
Well, we take the little guy and make him have big opportunities now with what we've done. And of course, we even have a product designed for the trucking industry today. We have a CDL product,
Great product.
And we really have really put together a menu, what I call the wheel of opportunity of LegalShield today. And and we're just becoming more and more excited about the future, and there's just never been a greater need. I think years ago, I don't know if I can quote the fact the American Bar Association is, if I'm accurate on this, but 52% of this country's got a legal issue right now. And half the population, probably 80 to 90% of the listening audience out here tonight. They do not have wills, and we provide that as part of our membership in LegalShield. And my goodness, my sister was recently diagnosed with a very serious, she had cancer. Fortunately, knock on wood, God's been good to her, and she's doing fine. But when I was in the Cleveland Clinic, the first thing that was asked me, because just the two of us are left, does your sister have a will, a living will, and medical directive? And I said, yes, she does. Later that day, I asked the administrator who asked me that question, how many times does she ask that question, get a no? And they responded most of the time. And it's probably, most importantly, the last love letter we ever leave our family members. And you don't want to do that on the internet. You want a major law firm preparing that for you. And that's part of our membership.
Absolutely. All right. Now, this company's been around for 40 years. And you've been here, 20?
Yes, sir.
And you have built a big organization. So not only do we have great products, great services, and we didn't even talk about identity theft, but that's another offering that LegalShield has. But there is a uniquely great business opportunity for someone part-time or full-time. And tell us how that works and how you built your organization, because that's what you do.
Well, I was in business prior to taking a look at LegalShield today, but I recognize the fact that the American dream is to be in business, no question about it. And especially the fact of a home-based business where you have the ability to have deductions and things that, of course, I'm not the expert in that field. But it's one of the last frontiers that we all have. The expense factor of going into business with us is virtually nil to none. For as little as $149, a person can actually become an independent business owner with that. With that, materials, information, start their business with. With that, even we set up their website free of charge for the first 3 months, which means, as I'm going to share with in just a minute, people can go to my website and just take a look at what we're doing. They would have the identical website set up. So, and that creates an opportunity in marketing our services today. value is an important factor in what we're doing. And I want to say that everybody today looks for value. That's why their keychain is full of different little, things that they use at the stores. And we're all looking for the best special in the world today. Well, again, I think we've got the only service in our country, or one of the only services in our country today that's marked down, not marked up. And I think that's just extremely, exciting for people. And we pay an opportunity to go market these services. And with that, we pay advanced commissions, and those commissions are paid every day, direct deposits and checking savings accounts for people. So cash flow is the lifeblood of business. Listening to your program tonight, the financial lady that just talked about, hey, the big deal is how do you make money? Let's get some money so we can invest and help our families.
And you can do this business out of your home. You can do it part-time.
Absolutely.
And you could start it part-time, learn it, work it, and then, or you could do it full-time.
Well, not only that, we have a support system all across the country.
Yeah.
And for profit. Well, in other words, we have not just the website, we have the system set up, obviously with our provider law firm systems, and we have the infrastructure put together that will help and assist people. So, for an example, maybe somebody today listening to this call, they live in New York, but they have a contact in California. We'll help them with that contact in California. So they can actually expand their business model. Okay, much and very similar to the to the insurance industry, but they can actually build an organization.
Well, I think that what separates LegalShield from other like companies, it is based on the quality and the value of your product. It differentiates from so many direct sales companies because this product from the family plan, from the small business product, from the group product, from the Identity Shield is just quality products. And David, thank you so much for coming here with us and being here on this show.
To hear more, tune in to the Fran Tarkenton Show every Monday from 6